Hi, everybody. This is Linda Brubaker, and I'm a job search coach, a career coach. I've been doing this now for almost 8 years. And uh, what I love about it is the ability to give you information from all sides of the recruiting desk because I'm a former recruiter, a former headhunter, a former HR business partner, and HR manager. And so I can give you information from all sides of the desk, what people are looking for, how to best make use of your time, your efforts, and so on. So we want to make sure that all of this is going on. We want to be able to answer your questions as well. Please put your information in the chat, and we're going to get started. As you know, we get started with um, quick wins. So if you've had a quick win, we're going to try and keep this short today, but if you've got some quick wins, love to hear what they are. And a quick win can be everything from you just got a job, you have an interview, you had a rejection from an interview, anything that you've learned during the last couple of weeks, because we haven't met since mid December. Love to hear what your quick wins are. If you've got a quick win, all right, Chad.
Yeah, so I have an interview tomorrow. It's a first round interview, but it's with the hiring manager at the firm. So hoping that goes well. And from what I understand, there uh, would be, I think, only one other round after that. So just trying to prepare for that and hope it goes well.
Excellent. You also had some contract work going at the possibilities at the end of December, as I recall.
Well, so actually, I was going to say this for the Q&A, but since you bring it up, I've been talking to another firm about a role where I applied and then was like auto rejected. A contractor uh, reached out to me, got me set up for the same role with an interview, and I said to the company, hey, I actually already applied for this, and the recruiter there said, we actually have a senior version of this role that you can apply to, which I did. And then I hadn't heard back from them. I figured they kind of shut down for the last 2 weeks of the year like everybody else. But then yesterday, I noticed that the hiring manager, whom I did interview with when I was originally contacted by the contract recruiter, looked at my profile on LinkedIn. So I'm like, how do I, like, what should I do? Like, should I drop her a message on LinkedIn? Should I send her an email? Like, just like saying, hey, I'm still interested in this role. Like, I don't know what the best tactic is here.
Okay, so what I would do actually is I would send a message on LinkedIn
Okay.
because she actually did look at your profile. Say,
Hmm.
I saw that you looked at my profile. Um, I'm excited to be able to continue the conversations or something like that.
Okay.
Have you actually spoken with her?
Yeah, we had a whole
Yeah.
interview last month. So
Hope
yeah.
you, and in fact, you don't even need to say that you looked at my profile. Um,
Hmm.
hope you had a great holiday. I'm excited to
Hmm.
for the next conversation to move forward.
Okay, good.
Okay,
Hmm.
perfect. By the way, anybody else has when we start doing these, anybody else who wants to chime in with some ideas or suggestions, please. Okay, that's what this is all about. We all try and help each other. Steve or Stephen, yes.
This one, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I think I mentioned earlier that I had some fairly positive news from a recent interview where I think the last we met, I'm not sure if I was the top candidate or had gotten an offer, but I got an offer, accepted it back at the middle of December, and I got news yesterday that I start on the 21st.
Congratulations.
So I have a start date, 18 months.
Unfortunately, I'm hearing that more
I,
and more.
and when I was naive at first, and I thought 6, 8 months, maybe 10, and then as I just kept going, I kept seeing more people talk about it's taken me 2 years, 3 years. They've taken some gap work, but still hadn't landed the next big chapter. So I knew it would take time, and all the
Unfortunately.
advice people throw out about, oh, just take any job isn't that easy. Even that's not easy. So I just toughed it up. I stayed with it and kept plowing forward. So things happen when they happen.
They do. So where will you be working?
I will be working at Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory. I'm going to be a business analyst. So I'm extraordinarily happy, to say the least.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Keep us posted. Let us know how it goes.
I'll be happy to. Thank you.
Uh-huh. Hey, Charles.
Hi, Linda. So before the holidays, I had been a friend of mine who I had worked with in the past reached out to me. He said they were looking for somebody. He thought I'd be a great fit. He referred me to his hiring manager. There were several sort of missteps along the way in terms of he should reach out to you this week, he should reach out to you next week, and then it was Thanksgiving, and then it was the week after Thanksgiving, and we finally spoke, I don't, about a week before Christmas, probably. I thought it went well. My buddy had coached me that the manager was looking for more solution selling and maybe a little less technical hands-on, but he has a co-manager that is very focused on hands-on. And so I had a great conversation with the hiring manager who is looking for the relationship connection, which is really my strength. And then we went right into Christmas and New Year's, and I sent him a note earlier this week. I had sort of just typed up a ping to say, hey, any updates, and set it to auto send Tuesday morning around 9 or 9:30. And it went, and he responded back with, we're looking for someone with a little more hands-on experience with these technologies, which are very specific. Um, and it seems like that's sort of some of the feedback I'm getting is people are looking for very idiosyncratic hands-on experience that I don't have. And so I was excited about it. The guy did respond, which was nice. I sent him a thank you note. I said, I understand I'm not your ideal candidate, but if things change, keep me in mind for the future. It was a pleasure. I think, this sort of opportunity fits in my sweet spot of generalist and relationship building from a technical sales standpoint. And I fired that off yesterday, later in the afternoon. So, had a meeting, didn't go great, maybe, but got it. It's, um,
Every meeting is a win. Whether whether it goes anywhere or not, it's always a win. It's a way of practicing. It's a way of getting yourself in front of people. And I love the fact that you did that follow-up afterwards, that you might not be that ideal candidate. But even the idea is asking for advice. What can you do to better prepare yourself for a role like this works well in those follow-up interviews or those follow-up emails? And ask if you can keep in touch for future opportunities. You really enjoyed what was going on. You'd like to be able to keep in touch and then do every once in a while. But the idea that you may not be the ideal candidate or that the candidate that they have actually may not work out, you never know when you might be able to jump right back in there.
right.
So,
Yep.
okay, any other quick wins? All right. By the way, if you've got a question, since we're now going to move into that area. Okay. Scott, do you have a question?
Yeah, I had an interview about a few weeks ago. I don't know if I'd be a great fit or not. It was for a financial services position, and it sounded like a good position. It's an internship for what they're telling me, but I'm still undecided about it. I'm still kind of like, should I take this position or not?
Have you been offered the position?
Well, they want to offer it to me, but I don't know if it's going to pan out or not. I'm still undecided about it. So,
What's the question? What's the concern?
it's like a financial consultant, something like that. It's an internship.
Okay. Is this a returnship?
No, it's an internship. No, you said no, it's an internship.
Okay, so
It's
when I
like
say
a month, like
internship,
a 30-day internship.
okay, you have nothing to lose in my feeling, but what about the rest of you? What do you think about um him taking this kind of a role?
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, as long as you're not passing up any other opportunities, it's at the very least an opportunity to get some experience.
Oh
And to
yeah.
try something new.
Hmm.
Okay, you can add something to your profile. You can add something to your resume. It's as somebody else said, it's a chance to get a foot in the door. Is this a paid position?
No, they said it's you get like it's not a paid position, but you get some kind of stipend or something like that. It's not much, but it's
So more like yeah, I'm fairly confused about what the position's all about. Can you talk a little more about it, Scott? And who it's with?
um I mean, you're gonna be helping people with their get their finances in order, things like that. It's you be helping with financial plans, learning about how to do a financial analysis for people, and
With what's the name of the company?
it's like I think it's Circle. They're down in Florida, in the Georgia area, Atlanta area.
Okay, I would be a little careful the more that I'm hearing you talk about it. An unpaid position, an internship is normally a paid kind of a position.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for, in a paid internship.
Right. So I would go to an organization called irelaunch.com. I'll put it in the chat.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've heard about them.
Okay. Which is why I asked whether it was one of those returnships. irelaunch.com lists a lot of positions. They work with organizations to help them provide these internships for grown-ups, is what I call
Okay,
them.
so I relaunch, you said?
Yeah, I'll put it in the chat.
Okay.
Okay. They work with organizations to provide these internships, and they're normally anywhere from 6 weeks to a full year. But they
Okay.
provide support, they provide training, and their goal is not only to get you back to work, even if it's trying something in an entirely new field, but to give you that support and that training. And they hope to be able to hire on a permanent basis 90% or 95% of the people who successfully complete those programs.
Okay.
Okay. I've
I
had
did
several.
have I had like an informational interview. This was in November. And I got to I talked to a recruiter though. Me and him talked for like an hour. And about opportunities in the federal government.
Okay.
And then we spoke for about an hour. I had some questions I wanted to ask him, and he was just telling me everything about the federal government, what the opportunities were, and what the pay schedule is, and just the different and opportunities in different fields he was telling me about.
Okay.
And it was a very good conversation,
Good.
and I got to ask him some questions, and then I got an email a few weeks ago, um, telling me, that they're going to be forwarding my application to employers.
Interesting. Okay, good.
And then what I have to do is I have to get a Schedule A letter. Um, I have to get that's what they want. That's what employers want. They want me to get a A letter, which
I'm
is a
not sure
letter
honestly
that,
what a Schedule A letter is.
yeah, it's a letter though, if you have a disability.
Got it. Yes.
Yeah. And they
Okay.
want me to get that together. And I have to go to my doctor. I go back to my doctor on the 27th. So I should be able to, hopefully I'll be able to get the letter typed up by then when I go to my doctor.
Very good. Well, keep us posted and let us know how we can help.
Oh, okay, definitely.
Okay. By the way, for those of you who are interested in working in the federal government, um, in our private group, and I'm going to put the link to our private group, there is a recruiter who specifically works with the federal government or with helping people get those jobs in the federal government, understand what that process is. Federal government hiring is very different. The process is different. So much so that they actually offer free webinars on how to apply to the federal government jobs. Next time I see one, I will add that into the private group chat as well.
Okay.
But I will add her information into the private group in a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, USA Jobs, I know about them. Yeah, I
Mhm.
have
Yeah,
a profile
sorry.
on them.
I heard Scott talking, and yeah, there's different events on how to write your resume. There's a man from the Treasury who is really awesome. He can go on for hours and hours about how to do things, how to make, complete your resume and your application for the federal government. It's really great. I definitely, recommend attending those.
Oh, okay. Can you put that information in the chat?
I did. It's USA Jobs. I'll put it again. I'm sorry. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
That's okay. Thank you.
There you go.
Hi, this is Marcy. I would also be a little bit wary about federal government jobs. With the political climate, they're actually looking to cut substantial jobs in the federal government. That's the planned progress for it. So you may just want to think a little bit about applying for federal government jobs.
Yeah, I had put in for a few of them, about maybe 5 or 6 of them, and within the last 6 months. So I did tweak my resume for the federal government, though I made some changes in my federal resume, and my federal resume is like 10 pages.
Yeah,
And
federal resumes are very long.
oh yeah.
It's everything you've ever done, as
Mhm.
opposed to working
Yeah.
for anyone else. So yeah, but great idea, Marcy. I would wait to see what the jobs market looks like. But it doesn't hurt to start applying now.
Oh yeah. I've been applying now for the past maybe 5 or 6 months.
Good. Thank you. Anybody else have a question? Since you're on screen, Marcy, do you have any questions for us too?
Oh, were you asking me?
I was.
Well, hi. I recently ended a consulting gig that ended at the end of December, so now I'm looking again for a new job. So
Doing what, Marcy?
I do sales, channel sales, and account management. So I was a national account. I was trying to help them boost up their sales program, and they really just didn't want to change. So they didn't want to spend money. They didn't want to do anything to help improve their sales. So they're kind of just going to be a stagnant organization,
Well, that happened.
which is what they want.
Okay.
So
Specifically,
that's what I'm kind of looking for. I typically like working for manufacturers and selling products and services.
Okay. Make sure your information is in the chat and
Yep.
we'll do what we can to help. So we always reach out to all of us. Thank you.
Yeah, I put my information in the chat too.
Excellent. Okay, Jim. Let's see. I think Jim, did you have your hand up? Did I miss you?
I did. With the federal government, I did apply for a position with the Army, and last response I got a few weeks ago, I think it was before the holidays, that I was referred to the hiring manager, but I haven't heard anything yet. So I know government jobs, they take their time notifying people and getting back to them. So yeah.
They do.
I look forward to meeting, finding that person that you mentioned that's in that group. So maybe they can help me understand.
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
you're very welcome. Eric, let me see if I can find you. There you are.
Hey, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Good. So nothing exciting since my last check-in. I haven't been on here in a little bit, but my last thing was a interview with Booz Allen that didn't go well. Well, they didn't move forward with me, but I think you saw that I upskilled a little bit, getting my certified Scrum Master and certified Product
Yes.
Owner certifications. And I've had no hits probably for a good month and a half. And I need to go back to work, and I'm going to go work at Home Depot part-time right now. And my question is, does that go on my professional resume or on LinkedIn? Or do I keep it just with my last, professional position and leave that one there, showing 10 months open?
It's a great question. Okay. My feeling is several things, one of which is we need to take a look at your profile at some point and see whether or not, do you have a current position on your profile?
I show nothing current now, just my last one when I got laid off in March.
Okay. So I would probably include a little something. I'm not sure how I would call it yet, but you want to include something that says open to work.
I have open to work.
No, but
Yeah.
I meant also as part of your LinkedIn profile. So you want to include in your about section a little bit about what kinds of things you're looking for, but you can add current position that talks about there are several of them that are called open to work
Okay.
or the kinds of things that you're looking for. I think there's a list of several of those LinkedIn companies in our private group. But we can also talk about that as well. Brenda, are you still on?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay. Do you have any suggestions too while I'm thinking about this?
First, Eric, I'm sorry your job search is taking a long time. I feel your pain on that. And sometimes, we got to take that job just to get some money coming in. Totally get you where you're at there. With regards to LinkedIn, and do you need to put this on your, the Home Depot on your LinkedIn? LinkedIn's a marketing tool, and I want you to think about using it to support what your future job is. So let's say you got a job at Home Depot and you work in accounting and finance and you're working at the cash register. Well, that's kind of related. So I could probably make the case to say, yes, put it on your LinkedIn. If it's not really related, just to have some income in there, you don't need to put it on there. But to Linda's point, you do need to have a current organization in the experience section in order for you to come up in more relevant searches. So if you don't want to put the Home Depot on there, if you belong to a professional organization as a member, you can put that in there. If you do any volunteer work, you can put that in there. Or you can link to, I think what Linda was alluding to is one of the open to new opportunities company pages on LinkedIn. So that way you're not being penalized by the algorithm that's inside there. I don't know if you feel comfortable sharing, Eric, but what type of work are you looking for? What's your targeted job title right now?
I've been a software tester for like 25 years. I just put my LinkedIn profile in there. I don't know if anyone saw it, but
Okay.
EH
Pull that
is me.
So the
I
reason,
can give them a couple tips here, Linda, if that's okay, or do you want to move on?
absolutely. No, go right ahead.
Okay, so some initial things that I'm noticing as I'm looking at your profile, Eric, you've got sunglasses on in your photo. I would take the photo without sunglasses on.
Okay.
Just to be honest, a lot of profiles that I see from people that are fake or spam or bots, or they don't want people to know who they are, they're wearing sunglasses in there. So
Okay.
that immediately it could give a sense of mistrust where you're just like, no, the sun was in my eyes. Well, yeah, for you, but for all the other people who use sunglasses, they're hiding something.
No, that was just a
Okay.
cool shot from the desert,
Yeah.
No,
And then related to that, your headshot photo really should be a more professional looking headshot photo. It shouldn't just be a cool shot. Like a cool shot goes on Facebook and Instagram and all the other social sites. This photo should look like if you show up for a job interview, this should be what you look like. You're not going to be wearing sunglasses and earbuds for a job interview. And if you wear a suit and tie, then you should have you're only going to see a little bit of a glimpse of it in your shoulders, but it should look like that in the headshot photo.
Is there any good apps to do that I don't have to go to a photographer?
you can
Do you have a
just
phone
actually-
with a camera on it? That's the
Exactly.
easiest
Yeah,
thing.
but my phone does not take good pictures.
Yeah. Uh, you know, if you have a friend or a family member who comes over that has a good phone, have them
Okay.
take it on there. If you don't want to pay for it. I don't really like the AI generated photos. I don't know, Linda, if you have any thoughts on those. I personally don't. I feel like they look disingenuine. They feel artificial to me.
I agree with you. And the idea of changing that photo really makes a difference.
Okay.
Okay. You can even, if you're sitting there on Zoom you can take a screenshot. Okay, and
Well, I
then
don't
we
like
use
what I
that as
see on
data.
Zoom. That sure wouldn't be the shot.
No, I agree with you, right? This one today. But if have a friend take that picture, okay?
Okay.
Many of us are using just phone pictures.
You could, Eric, try just setting up a Google Meet with nobody else in it, just you, because that's free, or a free Zoom when you're ready, and then you could just, curate your background, grab a screenshot. That'd be probably a pretty high resolution picture. You just if you're on Windows, you can use like the snipping tool. I'm sure Mac has an equivalent thing, and then you can paste that in.
Yep. So there are lots of tools, easy tools, but I agree.
Okay.
The AI generated photos do not look right, but you want a photo that does look like it's a professional photo.
Okay.
Okay. And by
I'll
the
get
way,
that changed.
for those of you who haven't changed your photo in a couple of years, you probably want to do that now too. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks, guys.
You're welcome.
Linda, can I chime in on this for a sec?
Absolutely, Pam. Was that you?
That was me.
Okay.
One of the experts, and I use that term very loosely, has told me that when recruiters look at your resume and they go to your LinkedIn, if they don't match, it's a problem. So your resume should look like your LinkedIn and your job history. But the other thing is there's a site that employers use to check all of your previous employment, and it's pretty accurate. So if Home Depot is on there, or if you leave Home Depot off and they check and they see that you worked at Home Depot, it could raise a question. Not that you should necessarily include it in your resume, but you should at least talk about it.
So as a former recruiter, okay, yes, if I'm seeing that there are some differences, and that's primarily in the sense of not telling me that you've left a job, okay, I don't care that you've got Home Depot on there or not. It doesn't really need to be on there. When I check your background, Home Depot shows up, you can explain that. I was working to provide some income while I was looking for the proper opportunity. It does not need to be on your resume. It does not need to be on LinkedIn, honestly. Okay. But if you want to, if it's been that long gap since March of last year, you may want to say something in one of those companies that talks about the fact that while you are looking for the right opportunity, you took some additional work outside the field, but here's what you learned while you did that. You honed your customer service skills. You did this. You did some volunteer work, something that talks about that. But as a recruiter, yes, if the dates don't match between your resume and LinkedIn, that will bother me. And I'm going to ask for some explanation. You're right. Thanks for help. Next question. David, you asked one on LinkedIn. Okay. Are you here, David?
I don't think I am. Any questions? Another David, maybe?
David, didn't you have, you just got a certification, or you were asking?
Oh, well, I completed a Maven Analytics course about networking and applications. Right. Yes.
And I didn't get a chance to respond to you there, but it's a great question to talk about here. About how do you find those targeted companies and how do you start doing that networking?
Oh, yeah, right. I think I did ask that in response to your there.
So, David, you want to tell us a little bit about the course that you took? And Yes, it was.
Yeah, it was a lot briefer than I was expecting, but it goes through. Well, here I've got an outline of it right here. Kind of the stuff we've been hearing about all along. Um, Finding LinkedIn influencers that you can follow. Those are the people with like tens of thousands plus of followers. Identifying key connectors, following target companies, joining the conversation, and after all that, you get into looking for jobs. I guess if you connect with people who have like tons and tons of followers, that gives you a bigger network to draw off of.
Yes, but there's a difference between a connection and a follower. Following
Right.
means that you see their posts.
Hmm.
Connections mean you have the ability to
Talk with
broaden
them.
your network, because
Yeah.
if you're connected to me,
Hmm.
you're also connected to everybody that I'm connected to.
Right. Whereas if I'm following, I'm just following, but I'm not connected to their
The
network.
difference would be that if you are following somebody and you're making relevant comments on their posts, you're going to get that broader audience for what you.
Right, right. Makes sense.
Okay, so that's what
Mhm. Yeah.
the other questions you had, though, as I recall from that, was how do you find those targeted companies?
Or
And how
making
do you
up
find people?
a company target list has always been a bit of a challenge. I would first narrow it down geographically to say the greater Boston area, because I don't want, I'll move, but not outside of New England, because this is where family is and this is where I grew up. And well, then I guess you got to find, probably most companies will be in and around the Boston area, within 100-mile radius anyway. And I don't know, one has to find, I guess you need to find a company that you like what they do. And oh geez, my words are escaping me right now.
Okay, mine.
It's not a company that's into data analytics, but not so heavy into IT, all the programming and machine learning and stuff. That's kind of over my head. I don't know. I guess you just want to do a wild goose chase of Googling, or maybe ChatGPT can help in some way in that.
ChatGPT, but even LinkedIn can help. You can look in the job section in LinkedIn and
Mhm.
see whether you can find jobs, narrow it down by location, but
Mhm.
who do that kind of data analytics. Don't worry about whether or not it's heavy or more on the entry level, because what you're doing is you're going to follow those companies. You're going to find people in those companies that you can do some networking with, that you can connect with.
You use LinkedIn to find companies, but not companies that are hiring right now, just
Doesn't
companies
matter
without.
whether they're hiring right now.
Yeah, right. That's what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
Okay. And by the way, Brenda Meller is one of my go-tos for LinkedIn and everything LinkedIn. And
The
she's
LinkedIn
actually
guru.
going,
Yeah.
she is.
Mhm.
She's the person that I go to. And so she's going to actually be our guest expert next week, answering some of those LinkedIn for job search questions. And it's going to be chiming in today as well. And thank you for doing
Yeah.
that, Brenda, by the way.
Because I check LinkedIn for potential jobs all the time, like almost every day. And so you see a company, it's because they have something open, right? If they're
But
not hiring, they aren't listed.
you can also do a Boolean search.
Boolean search.
Okay, a Boolean search means that you're looking for two terms.
Mm-hmm.
So you can look for data analytics, or you could look for companies. Most companies are going to do some data analytics.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but
Yeah.
if you look for specific terms plus company and then narrow it down by location,
Mm-hmm.
you might be able to do it. So yes, Pam is right. Boolean search, you use the term and then you use and
Mm-hmm.
or.
Mm-hmm.
Normally you make and or all caps. so that they understand that it works.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, because I would rather use data analytics as not part of heavy IT, but as part of, I don't know, like environmental service company or some other type of company that does something,
Well, then
right?
instead of looking for data analytics, look for the types of companies you'd like to work for. That makes much more sense. That way you
Hmm.
can follow those companies and you can find people within
Okay.
those companies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All
And
right.
when you do, you want to be able to connect with them, comment on their posts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Get those connections going and see whether you
Okay.
can't make
Gotcha.
something work.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. By the way, at the end of, or on the About section page on company pages, if you scroll down to the bottom, there's usually something that says you want to be notified of future positions. Go ahead and click that if it's a company you think you'd like to work with, because what that does is it notifies the recruiting team that you're interested in those roles, and for 6 months to a year, that will still stay on their radar, and that's always a good thing. Hey, Bo.
Good morning, Linda. Hi, everybody. Just a tip that some of you may not have taken advantage of yet, but I've personally consulted with Linda. She has been excellent and she offers a free 20-minute consultation. So if you haven't taken advantage of that, I'd recommend that. Brenda, you may offer something similar, I don't know. But just in terms of ways to help you, some of you that are new may not be aware that she does that, and I can personally vouch for Linda.
Thank you very much, Bo. I'm going to put that link for that 20-minute chat back in the chat as well.
I can also echo Bo's sentiments there. I've also worked with Linda. It's definitely an investment that's worth your time and money.
Thank you. And by the way, I offer this as my labor of love. Brenda does her consulting or these workshops as well as a labor of love. We do this as our way of giving back, but we support them by the consulting practices that we have. So we appreciate that. So thank you for that. Scott.
I have a question about the open to work. When you put the open to work on your LinkedIn profile, I've been hearing conflicting stories. Whether should you put on open to work or should you not put an open to work on your LinkedIn profile? So what would you suggest?
So you will hear lots of different stories about that. I will tell you what mine is. My view is go ahead and put it on. Okay. I'm Green Banner all the way. I think that it's a great way of letting your network know. We know that recruiters are more likely to contact you if you have that open to work there, because they know that you're willing to listen. We also know that if you're trying to do this, your networking seems to help. People want to talk to you because they know that you're willing to, you're open to new opportunities, that you're open to conversations. It's another way of letting your network know. People don't know that you're looking until you tell them. So I think it's really a good idea. Now, if you want to, one of the things you can do is try it. See whether it works. Put it on, see what kind of reaction you get. But not only that, I would then take it off at least every month for one day and then put it back on again. It's another way of bringing yourself back up to the top of the feed. The other thing is that when you're putting that LinkedIn or that green banner on, you don't have to use the standard wording that goes along with it. Make sure that you're giving people the opportunity to understand not only what you're looking for, but what your skill set is and what kind of help you're looking for in what areas. There are some great examples out there of what those posts can look like. But even if you're just using the standard one, it's still a better way of making sure that you're getting some notice. Okay. Has anybody tried using the green banner?
Thank you.
Uh-huh. We have a couple of examples of people who've gotten jobs specifically because of that.
I just saw a post yesterday on LinkedIn from a recruiter who was saying that he never uses the green banner, and then the comments kind of lit him up about it. So
Yeah. One of our former people, Bo, I noticed that you commented on something from Mark Roykos, where he just got a job. His job that I've been working with Bo for several years now. And Mark is one of those people who worked with us in the past and actually got his job after a period of unemployment because he put up that green banner. Somebody that he didn't know or that didn't know that he was looking contacted him and said, hey, I think I have an opportunity for you. He'd worked with them in the past. So those are not a bad way of trying to get something done.
Yeah, I've got the green banner up. I actually work with Brenda, who is excellent, by the way.
I'm sorry, who's this?
This is Drew. I'm sorry.
I just want to make sure that I can add you up here. Go
Yeah.
ahead. Or
So I'm
Brenda.
working with Brenda. So Brenda's excellent also. But I've got the green banner up, and I literally 25 minutes ago put out a post to my network that I am looking, what I'm looking for, and what my objectives are. And I have already started getting pings from folks. So yeah, if you got to let everyone know where you are and what you want to do, and put it out there to the world. I'm going to take what I wrote. I'm going to put that on my Facebook because I have a lot of connections on Facebook that I don't have on LinkedIn that might be able to lead me somewhere. So
I think it's a great idea. And the idea is that you want to be able to tell, you've got a network, build on it. Okay, let them know so that they can help you. We can't help if we don't know what you're doing. Okay. And
Absolutely.
by the way, I agree with you. Brenda's great. Okay. By the way, when you all see those posts, the green banner, or somebody saying, here's what I'm looking for, share them. Make a comment, share them so that we can broaden the reach as well. Or at least just make a comment. Hey, Stacy. You have to unmute.
Sorry, of course, the perfect timing. My dogs are now answering the door. I just want to make a comment. When I have seen people do that and make that post, I comment down there if I've worked with them, if I can vouch for them. I comment on it, something obviously positive, and then share it. And as far as the open to work, I lost my job about a month ago, and I put the banner on. It took me at least a week, I think, before I could accept it and then put that banner out there. And I'll tell you, I have applied for, I don't know how many jobs, and I have been rejected for every single one. The only thing that has happened so far that's positive is that banner. I got a message from a recruiter a couple weeks ago saying, hey, I looked at your profile. It's awesome. Are you interested in this role? If so, reach out, let me know, and sign up for an interview. And I did that. I had an interview with HR last week. She immediately set me up for a second interview with the CTO last Friday. And so I sit and wait now for my 3 to 5 day, and I should hear something about my candidacy. So I'm trying to remain positive and hoping for the best that I'll hear something, something positive soon. If not, it's uplifting that, there is something positive, trying to keep that upbeat thought process going, I guess.
Always. Okay. And the fact that you've even had that contact, I think is very positive.
It is. And I'm trying to keep that in my head.
Exactly. And I know it's tough. And I know how hard this is. Okay. But that's one of the reasons that we talk about even getting that call, even getting that rejection making it into the first round. All of those are positives. Those are wins. So we build on those and build on that spirit. One of the things that I want everybody to remember is the importance of trying to maintain that positive attitude. And I know how tough that is, but on LinkedIn, whatever you're posting, make sure, please, that it is positive as opposed to negative. I saw something in the chat about people putting on that desperate banner instead of the open to work banner. Please don't do that. Okay.
There really is a desperate banner.
You
That's a
can
real
find,
thing.
I've seen several people do it.
Wow.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay. We want to hire positive people. We want people that we want to be sitting next to, that we want to be able to have lunch with. In fact, those soft skills are becoming so much more important nowadays. So please, we want to make sure that everything that you have out there really is the kind of image you want to project on a day-to-day basis. And that negative works against you. So truly be very careful about that. Okay. Next question.
Can I ask a quick question?
Who's that?
Michael Bonifer.
Hi, Michael.
Well, unless I should be typing it in, but
No.
do you think somebody who posts desperate to work might be just trying to be funny or something like that? Not that it's
No, unfortunately, there are some people who may have done it that way, Michael, but no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I agree. Open to work is more positive.
And even if they're trying to do it to be funny,
Yeah.
it doesn't come off that way.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I mean, it may just be a way to set themselves apart from the rest of the open work crowd, but doesn't seem like it's in very good taste.
Work.
No, it's not. Okay. Next question. Steven.
Hi, Linda. It's Julie. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. So I have a question on updating photos. I've heard some conflicting advice, like maybe it's better to have a younger picture. I know you said, hey, anybody that hasn't updated, you should update. Somebody said, get a ring light. Someone else said, oh, don't get a ring light. Don't get too good of a camera. You don't want to like see everything. So I'm hearing some conflicting thoughts and wanted to get yours.
Okay, so I want to be able to see the same person when I'm interviewing you or very close. That
Do we lose her?
Yeah, I'm just pop right back on.
Sorry about that. You lost me. My internet went away. Y'all still here? There you go.
Yes.
Sorry about that.
Nope, we guys are-
Okay. So my internet may go out again. I apologize. We're having some issues in the area. But my feeling is that you really want to have a picture that is no more than a year or two old. I want to be able to see the same person. If you have a picture that is much younger, then it's going to look as though you're trying to hide something. So please don't do that. It doesn't have to be a professional picture, but I would do something close. Okay, does that help? Okay.
Yes, it does. Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. So speaking of which, okay, I changed my picture before all of this. What do you think? Should I change my profile picture on LinkedIn? Just curious.
Definitely.
I might do that. Thank you. Okay. Stephen, there you go.
Hi, Linda. Hi, everyone. Just a question. I had my resume rewritten to tighten it up because, again, the recruiters are only looking at it for 5 to 7 seconds, and it's got to pop and everything. So I had it redone. I had it shortened, so it's tighter. Also, so all the kind of the good stuff's up at the top. I used to have the good stuff on the second page that probably nobody's. It for the moment, it doesn't 100% match my LinkedIn profile. It's not that the information is different, but is more information on my LinkedIn profile because that could run on a little bit longer.
Yes.
So it has a little bit more data in it. Is that okay? And then my second question to the LinkedIn profile, I don't have all my work history. I only go back about 25 years on my LinkedIn profile, but my work goes back 35 or so. In total, I don't talk about that really old stuff because I don't think it's relevant anymore. What are the thoughts about that?
It doesn't need to list it all, nor does your resume. Okay. When we're talking about having things match, I want to make sure that the last several years or the jobs that you're listing on LinkedIn and the jobs that you're listing on your resume, the titles, the dates, okay, the companies match. You can talk about more companies on your resume, older companies on your resume if you choose to, or older companies on LinkedIn. Those don't have to match, okay? But if you're putting them in both places, the dates, the titles, the companies must match.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But
Okay.
different information is absolutely okay.
Yeah, to have more information. Okay.
Okay.
One last question, and I was
Sure.
on a different meeting, I think on Monday, regarding the kind of the graduation dates and so on within your education. So if you have graduation dates, Brenda might know, you come up in more searches or something to that effect. So there was one suggestion that if you have more recent certifications of some kind, you put that under your education, so then it looks like it's more recent and you could put dates on that versus the fact that I graduated college in the 80s. Or something like that. So I was just wondering any thoughts on that because it'll show I graduated college in the 80s if I put the dates on it, but I didn't. My work starts in 2000. So it looks like I didn't start work for years after college, and that's not the case.
I understand. So this is one that I'm still doing some research on. Brenda, you can chime in here too if you're still here. My resume or my LinkedIn profile, sometimes I'll put the date on it for graduation, sometimes I won't. I'll add it in and out. The difference would be that the date for graduation makes you show up for your link to having that degree if I'm doing that search. But the people who are going to be using that filter are people who have LinkedIn Recruiter. And fewer than 1/3 of all recruiters looking at profiles on LinkedIn are paying for LinkedIn Recruiter.
Oh, so it's only that group that has the LinkedIn Recruiter
As far as I
would
know,
work
and I
for.
have to do some additional research on that. Brenda, you can check too. But we'll see how that works. I'll do some work on your profile or take a look at it, Stephen, and see.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, after the Monday session I did go put the dates in. But if it's not really doing much, I'd rather take them out.
I understand. My recommendations have always been to remove it. But if you're not showing up for LinkedIn, people who are using LinkedIn Recruiter without that, or if you're not showing up for others doing the search without that, then that might be an issue.
Right. Okay.
But I agree. I would take it out. My normal has been because of ageism and potential ageism to take it out.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome, but we'll get some answers for you and put it in the private chat as well.
Great, thanks.
Uh-huh.
Linda,
Yes.
along those lines, I just filled out an application and they asked for, did you graduate college? If so, what was your degree? And then they asked for those dates. And so in my case, my dates are I graduated in 89 because I'm older. And, I've only listed the last 4 jobs I've had, which goes back to about 2005. So there's this big gap. Should I be concerned about? Because they're displaying this actually on a chart that lists, education years, jobs on the left, education on the right, and there's a big gap between education and then the first job I list.
So what do you mean that they're doing it on a chart?
It's as you're filling out the application, it was either apply with Indeed or populate it yourself. I chose to populate myself because, as you said, it's better to apply directly rather than go through, one of the job boards, so it gets there faster. So it said, have you graduated college? I said yes. I put in the date. It says great, and then it just showed a timeline down the middle, and it showed education on the right of that timeline in years, and then it showed jobs on the left as I populated the last 4 jobs I've had. So there was a gap between my last job and my graduating college of, 15 or 16 years.
I've never seen that kind of a chart on an application before, either as a recruiter or as a coach.
They were using an Oracle, human capital management system or whatever it's called these days to manage that application. So, if you ever come across an Oracle an Oracle backend that's you're populating for a job, you may see that.
If you ever see one of those again, take a screenshot of it and send it to me,
Okay.
just so that I can get a chance to take a look at it and provide better advice. But okay. So I would still, you can use whatever you want to in terms of going back as a recruiter. I would only look at the last 10 to 15 years of relevant experience, because if it's older than that, it isn't necessarily as important because technologies and other things have changed.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
good. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. Okay. We are past our time. Are there other questions that we can get to real quickly? If you put a question in the chat and we missed it, and I apologize, I will try, there we go. I will try and answer it as well at a later time. One of the things that Pam said, she puts a ridiculous date like 1910. I'm not sure that I would do that necessarily, but if you're going to do it, because 1910 is a real year, if you're going to put in a fake date or a fake job salary, then what I might do would be to put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Interesting. I've lost my picture. As opposed to anything else, but not 1910. You don't want something that looks real. Okay. Or 11111. That also works. I have not seen people kicked out of those situations because of that. I have had people who got calls back and said, wait a minute, you didn't give me a real number. What does it really look like? Now, as we use more AI in these processes with the applicant tracking systems, that may cause more of an issue, but I don't know that for sure. Okay. I'm going to stop the recording